Thinking about majoring in biology? I'm going to show you 6 ways to use social media to help you choose a college. Biology is a great major, but it's vast. You can be studying about animals, plants, or people, and there's so much in between. A lot of times people start looking at the Princeton Review and pulling rankings. This is an okay way to approach it, but you're only going to get the top-ranked schools. A better way to approach it is really being conscious of what you want to study. So for example, if you're really interested in dolphins and you have a desire to be a marine biologist, you may want to start looking for programs that are related to marine biology. If you were to go to the Princeton Review and pull a list of marine biology programs, some of the places on the list may be in the middle of America, far away from the oceans, which doesn't really make sense if you want to study dolphins. You may end up studying marine biology as it relates to rivers and streams and lakes instead, which means you may end up studying freshwater fish instead of dolphins, which could or could not be interesting. Worse, you may end up researching snakes if your professors have funding to research biology in general and their particular interest is reptiles instead of marine animals. Or you could end up studying something totally unrelated to your passions and interests like mold, if that's what your professors are funded to research. So if you want to stay true to yourself and focus on dolphins, which is your original interest from marine biology, you'll definitely want to look for a program that has a dolphin component to it. So when you're looking at marine biology, it'll be really important to not just look at the rankings, but also do they have facilities near the ocean, and am I going to see dolphins? And maybe they do have a facility near the ocean, but their primary area of interest is whales or octopus or who knows. So it's really important that you make sure when you're looking for a biology program, you do your research and your homework. I'll have another video about how to do that. So for now, we're going to start looking at biology as your main interest, and I want you to realize that you can never become what you don't know exists. That means your knowledge of biology careers and majors is only as vast as you've let it become, or rather, your teachers, parents, or society have exposed you to. So unless you've read every college handbook, looked at every college major, and read every college class, there are majors out there that might be the perfect fit for you that you haven't even yet discovered. So I'm going to be helping you use your social media habits and history to decide what areas of biology you might be interested in. So for example, you're going to go to your TikTok, and I want you to start paying attention to what's on your For You page. This is where you're naturally spending your time, and this is displaying your interests. It may have absolutely nothing to do with biology, but there might be a way to connect it, or it may be really obvious. So for example, if on your For You page you're seeing lots of videos about plants and cacti and succulents and gardening, then you may want to consider a plant degree major. You can look at the Southern Illinois University or a variety of other universities that specifically have a plant biology program. This will ensure that all of your classes are related to plants and you're not really getting into people or animals. You're just focusing on plants and your actual passion in biology. Next, we want to look at what's on your YouTube. This is going to help figure out what long-form content you enjoy watching. So for example, if your YouTube feed is full of forensics and true crimes, unsolved mysteries, those types of things, you may want to use your biology skills in the lab working with evidence. And so looking for a program that has a science-based forensic science program would be the way to go. Not criminology, not criminal justice. Those are more psychology and law-based. We're looking specifically for a forensic science program if you want to use the science piece to work on those types of cases. So you're going to get to take lots of classes related to forensics from this perspective, if that's your area of interest. This is just one program that's out there. There are many others to choose from. And there are some that blend all aspects. It blends more of like science with psychology and law enforcement to create kind of a interdisciplinary program. But if you're primarily interested in the science piece, you'll want to find a forensic science program. Next, we're looking at your Instagram. What do you follow? So if you follow everything climate change, and like literally that's everywhere, and it's very evident that that's what you're passionate about. Maybe you've even organized protests or demonstrations or educational events at your school to teach people and educate people about climate change, and that's really what you're passionate about. Maybe you've become vegetarian or vegan. Maybe you have a fuel efficient car. Maybe you walk or bike instead. Maybe you do your part with recycling. You may want to look at a degree in sustainable environmental design. This is a really cool program that actually blends agriculture and environmental science with some design pieces. You can go to UC Davis and take classes in all sorts of things. Here you'll actually get to choose your sciences. I believe they let you choose 4 of them, and then you'll take a lot of classes in other areas that are interdisciplinary. So for example, landscape, ecology, planning, community programming, like all sorts of different things to foster your love of sustainability. More and more programs at colleges are cropping up each year related to climate change, sustainability, and more. So be on the lookout and see what other programs may be offering. The next way you can use your social media to help you look at a biology interest is through your Snapchat. So if you're constantly doodling in class, all classes, and you love anatomy in particular, and this is your area of interest and passion as a hobby, and you haven't thought about connecting it to the sciences yet, this is your opportunity. There are literally programs called scientific illustration where you can study both the subject you're going to be drawing as well as drawing techniques, both digital and illustration. So for example, this program at Iowa State blends biology and pre-med illustration. You can find programs that are just specific to animals, plants, or to medical. But the scientific illustration world is huge. They not only produce textbooks, books, brochures, pamphlets, displays, museum setup. They also might even get involved in 3D modeling, and scientists and doctors can use that to do experiments or surgery prep, lots of different options available. So you can see the classes not only help you learn about the science piece, but then also help you take drawing and illustration classes. So a lot of times people are like, oh, it's fine, I'll just do a major and a minor. You can do that. But if you can find a program that blends the two, that means they may also have internships and employers set up to help you further your interest in this field and get the connections you need to get the jobs that you want. Also, a little unknown fact, every university typically has a department called undergraduate studies, and you can go to the dean and propose a special major. It may be called something different at each university, but a special major is where you combine different things to create an interdisciplinary program to come up with a title of a degree that fills a need in an industry that the university doesn't already provide. So I've worked with several students that have actually created their own scientific illustration degree because the university I used to work at did not have that. So you can definitely come up with your own major and minor. I never suggest doing a minor if it's going to take you longer than a year because you could already be halfway done with a master's. Really, if you're planning on doing a minor, you want to know that early on so you can definitely take your electives in that area. Lastly, what do you like to make videos about? Or second to last, actually, what do you like to make videos about on TikTok? If you have been following a family of birds and watching their migration, them hatch eggs, and it's just fascinating to you, or maybe you volunteer and you document and take video of the recovery process, you may be interested in a degree at Oregon State University that they have. And literally it says, imagine going to college to study what you really love, birds. So I love this. I think that it would be a great major for people who are super interested in birds. They even have the ability to choose your own adventure, it says, and create the wildlife science degree that you want. But they do have 7 courses related to birds. This would be great if you wanted to work in rescue, conservation, education, or if you wanted to maybe even work in like a natural history museum or for the Forest Service or something like that. Lots and lots of options. Okay, our last option is to look at what you post. So what you post on Instagram can also tell a lot about you. So for example, if you're constantly posting information about psychological studies or how our brain works or information about mental health, for example, on your Instagram and sharing it with everyone, you may be interested in a degree called biopsychology. Now, again, a lot of people will major in biology and minor in psychology, knowing that they want to go into psychology, pre-med, or maybe psychiatry, something like that. But you can do a degree somewhere that combines them already for you, and you can take classes in biology and then a bunch of classes in psychology. So as you can see, they're taking classes anywhere from cognition and perception to autism, the study of fear, endocrinology, neuroscience, lots of different options. So this is a great one if you're interested, as I said, in something related to psychology, or if you want to go into pre-med or something to that nature. You don't have to do a major and a minor. These programs do exist at some universities already. All right, so we learned today that you can never become what you don't know exists, and that you really want to expose yourself to what's out there and figure out how can I take things I already love and combine them to my interest in biology, because there are degrees that I didn't even get to. There are hundreds of them out there that are so fascinating. If you want me to take a look at the things you love on social media, you can take this free questionnaire where I ask you different questions, you fill it out, and then I go through and provide you with some recordings and some links to help you and your family find the best degree for you. So take a look at it. It's free, and I am the fly on the desk. I provide unsolicited input, advice, and ideas about college and career. If you have a question you'd like me to address, please send me an email.